Okay.
If you all could rise, please. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thanks for the notice.
Mr. Schulte. Here. Mr. Oren. Here. Mr. Manningham. Here. Mr. DeBoer.
Here.
Mr. Helmers is here. Consider February 10th, 2026 agenda.
Any changes?
I don't have any.
Make a motion on the agenda.
I'll support it.
I have a motion by Mike, support by Leroy. Approve the agenda. Any more discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. January 27, 2026 minutes. Did you get a chance to look at those? Consider motion by Warren,
Support.
support by Schulte. Any more discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Review and consider approval also the county plans and meetings commission.
So I talked to Elise, and I know you did too, so she was willing to serve, so I took Gail off. That's really the only changes I made to the list, so.
And I will take a motion to approve that.
Motion.
Motion from Warren,
I'll second it.
second from DeBoer. Any more discussion? And that fills out what we need.
Not quite, but it's, we need 7 real estate, but, we couldn't find any, so. I've sent it to the state, I have to send it to the chief judge and to the DNR. No one's ever come back to me and said it's not complete, so that's what I'm going by.
I have motion and support. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Now, we got time to consider that. What time is it? Okay, 7 on department heads. They're not all here though.
No, there's
Let's just take a minute and think we got enough time to discuss that. Who brought donuts today?
Leroy did.
Leroy.
No, his wife.
His wife did, okay. She helped.
Well, at least you got somebody to help you, huh? My wife always tells me I'd be screwed if she wasn't around. She's probably right.
I know I would be.
My husband says the same thing, so.
The county attorney could get up and give us a speech.
Are you gonna be around later, Dawn?
Yep.
Okay, I need to talk to you about something quick.
Okay.
After one.
Pop up. I'll be there.
We got sick people here?
I don't know, busy, I don't know.
Busy.
Busy?
Sick of us, maybe.
Well, it is 8:50. We can get started with Sharon. She's got lots to talk about.
Well, we're just making our callbacks, our final callbacks before we wrap up the 2026 values and send out assessment rolls. We'll get out, take pictures and all those fun things on the agenda once assessment rolls go out the door.
Sheila?
Okay, we've been busier than usual with documents lately, I'm sure it's recent, but that's good, and a lot of people coming in to get their 2026 fish and hunting license, and still renewing our orders and all that stuff, so, much usual.
Keith?
Yeah, so on the flooding update on the I-15 bridge of the Poet Fields, that's out for bid right now. We'll be doing opening of those bids at the next board meeting at a public hearing. We have 2 FEMA projects that are now fully closed out with FEMA. They're done, paperwork's done, money received, everything. Our debris removal project, where we took all the corn stalks and stuff out of the ditches, that project is actually going to be audited by the state based on how much it came in at. So we're getting documents ready for that. It's just a standard procedure. It's nothing bad about it. The other project, the F10 bridge there on Pierce south of town, we're still waiting on that grant approval from the feds through the states, and no new news on that one. Equipment-wise, we had 2 replacement of our mowers in the next year's budget. We actually can get them now without costs rising, and we actually have capacity in this year's budget, so we're going to go ahead and move forward and just purchase those now. Other than that, I'll be out of town this weekend and early next week going visit family down in St. Louis again.
Tell them to move a little closer.
So.
Should tell them to move a little closer.
They're not moving around much now.
You planning on taking those mowers out of next year's budget then?
I'll probably leave the capacity in there because we're getting quotes on things, and we're starting to find that things are coming a little higher.
But only 2% growth, right?
We're starting to find out some things are coming a little higher than we thought, so the amount that we had budgeted for equipment next year will pretty much be the same.
Thanks.
Sure. Dawn?
Nothing major going on. We're scheduling depositions. We've got some jury trials scheduled. One for sure I know is going to go. A teacher from the school got in touch with me. The kids from her class, her high school class, would like to come and do a tour of the courtroom, question and answer thing. They read 12 Angry Men, the play, and she heard me speak at the high school, so they're interested in doing that. So I asked her to send me some dates, and we'll set that up. So that's about it.
All right.
Rochelle just handed me the Attorney General's opinion yesterday for comp boards. I would be curious, I haven't read it all yet.
No.
We'll provide it to you.
Okay.
My only question would be, in the Senate file that they list is now law back to blue. Did they address code section 25B? 'Cause,
I will have to take a look at that.
so if you keep that in mind.
And AG opinion, when did it come out?
Yesterday, it's dated February 9.
Kevin just sent to me this morning,
To
so.
Ringgold and Wayne County attorneys about sheriff salaries in the back of the blue bill.
I had not gotten that.
I'll get it to you.
Okay, anything else? Dawn?
Not for me.
Okay. Buffy?
The office is kind of slow right now, but I stay busy. We're hosting a Veterans Chili Cook-Off at the VFW on the 7th of March. So far I have 6 entries, which I think is pretty good for our first time. There's gonna be no charge for anyone can come in and taste chili, and then there'll be prizes awarded. And that's about it. I would like to work with maybe the different American Legions in VFW to try to do something this summer since it's the 250th. You know, thought maybe get with the fair board and try to do it at the fair.
Okay, that'd be great. I'll bring that up.
Okay, so who do I have to contact?
Steve Boss.
Perfect.
Yep.
Good.
You
I'd
have
love
his,
to do that.
you have his number?
Yeah, I got his number
Okay.
too, yeah.
Okay.
And that's about all I got.
Michelle?
Our office is busy with passports, wow. People are renewing or leaving, or a lot of passports, a lot. Budgets, tomorrow we'll start absentee voting for the special election on March 3rd. Now it's kind of a crunch period. It makes me a little nervous with the mail system because the 17th is the last day that we can receive requests to mail out absentee ballots. We got a lot of snowbirds that want ballots. I'm not for sure if they're going to get them in time and get them back to us in time, but it's not my problem. It's legislation, and they need to address that. When the post office changing their rules, you know, and election mail can't be forwarded, so we're emailing it directly to them. So yeah, but could be busy with that. The notice of the voter registration deadline in the paper this week and next, and the sample ballot will be in the paper next week. So yeah.
Those requests have to be postmarked or received on that day?
Received.
On that
Received. The 17th is the last day that we can receive to have absentee ballots mailed. And we have to have them back by 8 o'clock on March 3rd. They changed that law. Normally, before, it could be postmarked the day before, and we had a whole week to receive them. They changed that law a couple years ago, that we have to receive them by 8 o'clock on election night. So. And we're bringing stuff into the post office to make sure it gets, you know, bringing them in the office to make sure they get out that day. So there's not much more I can do. It just stinks.
All I can say is good luck.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put a plug in for Nick. I'm not sure where Nick is today.
Oh,
They had Trout Fest this weekend. Record numbers, 205 registered, probably fed 250.
Awesome.
Nick and his staff and the board have done a wonderful job with that Trout Fest. It keeps growing every year, so that's a nice family thing to go. If you've never been there, they got fishing equipment you can use and everything, so that's my plug for Nick today.
That's awesome.
It was a good time.
And the weather was great.
Yeah, it was good, yeah, so. Anything else from anybody? I think Leroy baked today, so Leroy's a good baker, I heard. So help yourself. Thank you guys all. All right, consider EMS advisory board recommendations, and I'm gonna apologize up front for missing that meeting. I don't know why, I kind of blew away, so. Don, you're up, I guess.
Yeah, we're hoping for it, Jerry. We won't get over it.
I actually knew about it. I don't know, I just completely forgot.
So we had that meeting on the 23rd of January here. Present, myself as chairperson, and Berlin Kennegator, Mark Bremer, Ty Schultz, and Roger Froderman were there. Sandy was secretary, Miss Jerry. Yeah, we went through the EMS levy report for 24-25, looked through that item line list, discussed our old business of recruitment and presentation and retention of EMS personnel. For example, Ashton, our average age now is 65 and a half. That's our crew, that's where we're at. That's where we're at in the county as a whole. But the crucial and the critical part for this is we discussed the budget in 2026, 27. And we're looking at is changing some line items for you, or how we're handling them. And what was presented by Sandy to us as a board was what we wanted to do with the PCC code billing. And between the tax levy and the PCC billing remunerations, we would be self-sufficient as a unit. And what we'd suggest, the county's charged 8% for what PCC collects. Last year they collected roughly $300,000. That would give us, and so out of that, they received 24.6, something like that. The balance of that would be 275,000. In addition to the tax levy, that would totally compensate for the EMS budget, and it would make it a lot simpler. We would then be responsible setting aside funds out of that for ambulance recruitment, for training, for etc. Simplify the budget. So as a group, we would like to receive 100% of the remaining balance of PCC billing and eliminate your line item. And what that would do is preclude you having to write us a loan every year for $100,000 in July too. So that is our intent, and that motion was made. It was carried unanimously across our board. So I was asked to present that to you. I know you'll have questions on it, so I thought I'll open that up to questions and your perspectives. I know you'll have an extended discussion about that. I know Rochelle's gonna say, yeah, but. So, and I'm aware of that. But we just looked at is what it would do for budgeting as a whole for us and simplifying and knowing where we're at.
Michelle, I know you've had some concerns. What will they do, don't you?
Well, just, part of that money goes in general basic, so it just affects our general basic fund. Currently, what we propose so far is 150 stays into general and 150 is in the PCC fund of that, or the emergency management
But
fund.
the
So-
150 doesn't get us to where our annual budget's at with the tax levy. There's no one in this room that ever wants to go back to somebody else and say, hey, we need to raise a tax levy either. So, we put it where we thought we'd be and functional when it was initially set. So that's why we wanted to go that route. Like I said, that simplifies, because then it puts that onus back on us as a group to set aside that funding for the ambulance, to set aside for the new ambulances, for the equipment, for the $55,000 life packs, for the, so we wanted to just discuss it, bring that presentation to you as a board, and see where you're at with it, so.
Questions, comments for Don or Jason?
I understand where you're coming from, and I can't say I don't support it, but I don't know that I'm ready to make that change fully this year. I think I like our approach.
I didn't expect an answer this morning. Yep, oh, good, all in favor, say aye. No, obviously, that's not the way that's going to work. But just looking what our expenditures have been, and I think, Rochelle, the rest of you have a pretty good year over year what our total expenditure versus income's been. And Jason, Mike, Jerry, we've discussed this before. We know the percentage that we do not get compensation or remuneration back from as well, from those that are just zero claims out there. And that number's climbing. We know that. When you look at those that are uninsured, not contactable after the event, so it becomes difficult. I said, in retention recruitment, I've been EMS board president since 1998 with the whole Response 2020. Mike, you were part of that then. So we're just looking at what's happening with our recruitment, retention of members, and just trying to simplify our budgets. When you start looking at your line item budgets of what you have to lay out for us every year and how it fits into this group or that group or that group, this would certainly simplify that. That's what I wanted to present to you this morning.
Anything else from anybody or? No? I think I would agree with you, Jason. It's something we should consider.
And if the drawbacks, let us know what those drawbacks are. So we're part of a team working towards that resolution. Thank you for your time this morning.
Thank
Thank
you.
you for the next meeting.
Thank you,
See you,
Don.
Don.
All right, appreciate it.
See you later, Michelle.
Yep, see ya.
Okay, discuss, consider wellness participation program incentives.
I'm gonna get Chantry for this since he's on the level. You guys want a donut or cookie right now, or
I don't care what
what would you like? How about you, Joe?
Not right now.
Okay. Leroy?
I'll have a cookie.
Okay, Chantry, I think.
Oh, we're just here to eavesdrop on the conversation. So I did email out, we kind of, what we had kind of sent out for the proposed, there was three options presented to us, and reading through those, we kind of like came up with a compromise, shook them up, smashed them together, did a little whatever, and we came up with the proposed that we sent out yesterday for review. So just looking for any feedback, corrections, things that we missed, wording that we didn't like, whatever. And then, like I said, that one section on participation, we were questioning, there was 2 different options in there, so we won't use both, but just kind of what people are thinking and how you're wanting it to look, I guess. So.
I'd like to know what Jack thinks before I make a decision.
Yes, but we do have, I know Jason had kind of sent it off to a few people, Jack being one of them, I believe, to look it over. And as far as I know, there was no response to that, right? So we haven't heard back from them yet, but.
I made a call to Jack on another issue and asked him about it, and my recollection of what he said is that he didn't see any issues with it. We just have to structure it the way we want it. But yeah, I would support his signing off on it before it's implemented, but I don't think it's his job to decide how it looks for us. It's to review and make sure what's included is appropriate. DLO Chantry and I tried to get wording that seemed to meet the section heading better. But the blue is more directly what ISAC provided as a template, with the last sentence just kind of applying to our position. It seemed like the feedback was more in favor of the yellow language from what I saw. The implementation would be considered for starting July 1, and the approach identifies that all employees would be granted participation status this first year. This year's involvement in the program would determine next year's status for that employee, for each employee.
Any other comments, questions?
Timing of things, I would just appreciate the sooner the better if we make a move on, or however it works, but if we're gonna implement it, I wanna make sure to get it communicated out to all the staff that, hey, we're in the time frame now for your qualifications for next July 1st or June 1st or whatever, if that makes sense.
All right, you guys want to act on this today, or you want to wait for Jack, or?
I think it's just going to languish if we keep doing that. I think he's busy with union negotiations.
Yeah.
I think my preference would be we decide on language and we present it to him for final consideration. But
And you said most of the people
Well-
like the yellow?
of all that were sent out, I only saw the responses in favor of the yellow, but that was only 2, so it's not 9 out of 10 or anything. Is that accurate?
Yes, yes.
And your thoughts too, yellow was?
Personally, I lean towards blue a little bit just because that's the language that ISAC provided as a template. I know their legal team reviewed it and provided that, so to insert words and to rework it a little bit gives me a little bit more pause, but if we're gonna have HR and attorney review it, I'm not opposed to the yellow language.
What do you guys want to do? You want to act on it, one or the other, or? Excuse me.
Everybody gets checks put into it.
Well, I would kind of agree with, I think we can handle this, can't we? Right? On our own, without Jack?
I think deciding between those two
Yeah.
options should be decided before we send it to them. And we could provide him with the alternative language and ask if he thinks that would be preferred, but
They essentially say like the same thing, and as far as adding more information in to what was proposed originally is kind of what we did in the other section, so I guess I'm not like hesitant to say that, but, like that, in the yellow section, there's a part that's underlined, that part I kind of questioned, we're gonna check on some of the verbiage in that, weren't we, with ISAC, but, there's not a huge difference necessarily, but.
What do you guys think?
I'm ready to make a motion if I hear what you guys prefer between yellow and blue.
Yellow or blue, guys? If you haven't had a lot of, you said you didn't get a lot of response, Jason?
It was only sent out to like the wellness committee, the board, and then I included Rochelle. So that was our smaller group, so, and like I said, it was just sent out yesterday, so people didn't have time to review it and whatever, but the feedback that we did get was more towards the yellow. So the big differences would be, like Jason said, the blue one, there wasn't a lot of changes, made to what the proposed information was from the original samples that were sent out. The yellow one, I added, let's see, attending other approved activities as outlined in the program structure set by the county's insurance provider, because I felt like that the topic is participation requirements for this differential. So when you read it, it doesn't really tell you what the requirements are. So I feel like that part to me was the part that's stating, okay, it's based on the structure set by the insurance provider, so it gives you a reference point to, hey, to figure out what this year's requirements are, referred to that for it. That's kind of where my mind went. That's why I thought that would be valid information to add. The other one didn't have that. What were the other changes? Oh, and then I added. Just that last sentence in that yellow paragraph, I think that's different. So there's, like I said, there's a huge amount of differences, but when you're reading it according to the header, just which one do you think flows the best? Or maybe there's a variation of the two that you guys can like throw together to say, hey, maybe we should consider this instead. We're like open to suggestions, so.
For me to read this, the blue is more understandable than the
The
yellow.
blue is,
To me,
so-
for me.
okay.
That's just my thoughts. I don't quite even understand that sentence, maybe I probably am dumb, but that underlined sentence, I don't even quite.
Me either, I wanna take it out, that's why I underlined it, cause I'm like, what is that even saying?
I don't know what
But
that
it's
says.
in both, so,
Yeah, it is,
but that's I underlined it because I'm like, I don't really, I also questioned that part, but like, that was in the original, so I didn't know if there was some necessity to have it there, so I didn't take it out, but.
what do you guys wanna do? Get a motion, somebody has a motion, one way or the other? Yes, no, on the table?
conversation I was expecting.
Just do it in your requirements, you really don't have to read it,
Right,
you know, so.
yeah. But you know, we gotta have this to fall back on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You wanna make a motion?
Just have to make sure it's clear as mud because somebody will question it,
Yeah.
that's my only concern. And I think, it's specifically, I have concerns about waiting till July 1st of 27 to implement the $80, but that's also the budget year and stuff like that, so it makes sense. I just don't want anybody coming back in January 27 and said, oh, I did it, so I should be good. We're going on previous year's wellness program, not the current. I can just see that happening, so we just gotta make sure when we talk to the employees that we're very specific on things, so they know there's no gray area, it's black or white.
We tried to be very diligent
Yep,
about
you were, yep.
with the examples, too, on the time frame of things, so hopefully that'll help minimize some of that, but
There's always
that
gonna be
also was a
something.
concern for, yeah.
Yeah,
there
for a
was
lot of
something
people,
too.
yep.
But
Just gotta make sure we explain it when we,
we just don't wanna leave anything up to interpretation, because everybody interprets everything so differently, and if you don't have, where it's clear cut, then,
You'll still get that,
yeah.
as clear as, you know what I'm saying, so. Come to you guys.
Any questions on the top of the second page, premium differential implementation? We identified August 1st as a cutoff for new hires. Previous language had 90 days prior to the end of the wellness. You content with identifying August 1st as
Which really
completing-
ended up being August 2nd, so August 1st is not much different than the 90 days. So.
completing the items by the end of October could be problematic for new hires, so that's where that came from. It was just, do we identify a number of days before the end of the program, or do we identify a calendar date? So, okay with the calendar date? I'll make a motion that we proceed with, and this includes the blue language, blue highlighted language, with the policy with that language, and have review by our county attorney and HR consultant, providing them with the alternative language if they think that would be preferable, but for final consideration at our next meeting.
Got all that? I have a motion by Randy, support by Lauren. Any more discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Opposed. You're opposed? Okay. I'm aye.
May I ask why the opposition?
That's just the way I feel right now.
Okay.
and you're an
I'm
aye.
aye, yep.
Okay.
Motion did carry. Okay, we do have a 9:15. Thank you, ladies.
Thank you.
We need to call Jack.
We do, yep. Yeah, we'll have to vote on that.
Do you need a motion to go into closed session? Motion. Support. All those in favor? Aye. We are in
Or
closed session.
roll call, or
Hey Jack, this is Rochelle.
Roll call.
Just give me a couple
going
minutes
into
here.
closed session.